Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke.
And my name is William. And today, I'm going to be your order on this travels of the non-spoiler and spoiler of The Odyssey.
Kitchen couch.
We just watched Troy because we watched the Odyssey trailer. And I mentioned to Louis I hadn't seen it. So it's on the channel if you want to see that. We're going to spend maybe a majority of our time doing non-spoiler here. And then we're going to do a spoiler where there'll be a little warning. Are you on the fence about going to see this movie? Are you a Christopher Nolan fan? How important is it for you to see this movie? The movie is out nationwide right now. So there are a lot of people reacting, talking, and all that kind of stuff. So today, if you have a question, if you have a comment, no spoilers right now, please put it in the comments down in the chat. If you're watching on the replay, please leave it in the comments and we will talk about it there. If we make a mistake, sorry. But we just don't know. I got a series of questions I got written down here. We're going to ask Louis these, and hopefully he can give us a quick summary or synopsis. Again, this is the non-spoiler, okay? The non-spoiler. Louis, what is the pitch for someone who's never read Homer and the Iliad?
Okay, the pitch is Christopher Nolan. Okay, the pitch is simply, if Christopher Nolan is making a movie, you can guess that just about everyone who's in the production and creative team is in the top 3 of their persons in their field for what they're trying to do. So on that alone, you're gonna get quality. It may not be perfect, but you're gonna get quality. You're gonna get entertainment on the $18 of your whatever. So that's whatever the cost of your ticket was. Mine was $18. I went to the IMAX screening. So it's Christopher Nolan. It's not any of the actors, unfortunately. I don't think any of them are going to win a Best Actor, but it is definitely on the director, on the creative team for sure.
Okay.
Also, it's like the greatest story ever told. I mean, it's lasted for 3,000 years. It's it's a top 5 story of all time.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that I didn't really care about this. What really changed that for me was watching Troy with Luke. Did you feel like after rewatching Troy that you wanted to see the Odyssey more, or were you just already so locked in that it was like it didn't really matter if we'd seen Troy or not?
It definitely retooled my thinking. Watching Troy retooled my thing. Obviously, Troy is more of an action adventure movie than what the Odyssey is, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, sword and sandals, fun. I mean, it's even kind of swashbuckling, you know. Troy is. It got me pumped. You know, in Troy, it feels like the Trojan War is about 4 days. And in the Odyssey, the Trojan War is not 4 days. They make it very clear that it took quite a bit longer. 10 years, in fact. They follow Homer a little bit more clearly.
You said that you saw it opening weekend at the Smithsonian in true 70mm. I've seen some cutouts where people have said that, like, this is all the screen you'll see. If you see it in a traditional theater, this is what you'll see in a Dolby Select, the IMAX, and then the true 70mm. What was the experience like? Because I was there when you ordered the tickets. We talked about like seat placement and all that kind of stuff. What was it like to be in that massive screen?
We're talking about the Smithsonian, Lockheed Martin sponsored IMAX theater that thousands of students annually go and see space exploration or the Blue Angels or whatnot. It's as good as you're going to get, you know, in just about every city or town in the country. So what I'll tell you is it was worth it.
Okay. So
it was worth it. Visually, audially, there's a point I can't wait to tell you about something that happens audio that it makes the hair on my leg stand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually did a deep dive into like what makes IMAX, because we only have the 1.43:3 ratio or whatever in Japan. And one of them's in Osaka, one of them's in Tokyo. Otherwise, there aren't real true to, like, I think there are 40mm or 30mm breakdowns in Japan. So like I said, I probably won't see it in the theater because I might want to react to it with you guys on the channel like we did with Troy.
We might. It's universal. It's universal. We're probably going to. We're probably going to.
Just so make sure to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for that. Does this feel like a part 2 to Troy. Like,
No,
if people, it's just so different that like
it is so
people
different.
won't even. Okay,
The opening scene takes place on a beach, and that is the and Troy, the city, has similarities, but
okay,
like maybe just because the creative team was like, hey, we want it to kind of look like an old desert city.
yeah.
But
Everything was practical. Everything was practical.
there's a lot of saturation. Everything was, but shout out me watching Troy. Remember, if you're watching right now, we got a few people watching. Leave a question in the comments or let me know what you're thinking. Troy is a extremely saturated movie.
Okay,
Nolan is infamous for his muted tones,
okay.
except for
The
Oppenheimer.
darker purples, which I haven't seen that either. Might have to react.
Ooh, I gotta take Jon Stewart brought up. Jon Stewart, like the talk show host, he
Yeah.
brought this take up about Oppenheimer and then watched, and I thought it's phenomenal. So I'm gonna bring that up a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, we're gonna move on to a little section called craft and filmmaking. So, Louis, question number 5: your first impression right after you got in the theater. Like, I said, I did a deep dive into IMAX. So, IMAX and LED. Now, most projection systems are LED. They're a light emitting diode. They're limited in their size. When things are shot through actual film, there's more reflective surfaces for light to catch on, for color depth, that kind of thing. Do you think that this could have been shot digitally and still been as good, or did it have to be on this 70 millimeter IMAX to really portray the feeling that it does?
Yeah, I think it's icing on the cake. I think it's
Okay.
icing on the cake. It's garlic butter on a steak, maybe. I don't know what else to talk to you. I mean, it's like it's just a little bit extra. It's just that little bit more. It adds a little bit more spectacle. The story stands alone. It'll be
Okay.
incredible at home. It'll be incredible
Okay.
on our parents' projector. It'll be incredible on the TV in the background over here. It'll be incredible.
Okay, because that was the next question is like, do you think you could have the same feeling if you just saw it in like a standard theater?
Yeah. It
Like,
would be the same for me. For
okay,
me, it would be the same. I wouldn't call myself a cinephile. So
okay.
it would be
Like I really care about color and that kind of stuff, so it may matter more to me, whereas I don't care about stories so much. So,
Yeah.
all right. Talking about the scale, does this feel like Nolan's biggest movie yet?
So I've not seen Oppenheimer,
Oh, okay. So you're also non-Oppenheimer.
which I am now pushed to watch. Actually,
Okay.
after watching this, I am pushed.
Mm.
I'm going to be watching Oppenheimer this week, but I've seen all the rest of his films. The scope and the scale matches the nature of the story, which is an epic, one of the oldest epics in the history of storytelling.
Well, I mean, I know that he made new technology in order to have this 70 millimeter out there.
Mm-hmm.
I also have not seen Oppenheimer. He did Tenet, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't seen Tenet either. I think the last Nolan film I watched was a Batman movie. So it's been a minute.
Tenet's great. Tenet is great.
I'm gonna have to react to it. The score, Ludwig Göransson. Okay, how does it compare to other things you've heard him produce? Because I think probably most famous is Mandalorian stuff, right? Like,
Sure, he's won Grammys or Oscars. He's highly touted. He's unbelievable.
He also did Oppenheimer, so this is another Chris Nolan combo.
It fits so well into the story that I almost didn't notice it. How it was like, oh, the scale of the story and the score match seamlessly.
Okay,
Like it was so this movie, the thoughtfulness in this movie is off the charts. So the score, so yeah, and also, like I said, there are some sounds that are made that are hair raising.
Okay, there's a common theme here that a lot of the cast that has worked with Nolan in the past work with him here, right?
Yeah,
and I know Matt Damon is famous for saying that he told his wife he's taking a break from filming for a while, unless Christopher Nolan calls, and then he got him into Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
and now he's here in the Odyssey. So it's like, I think, who was it that they were asking Cillian Murphy, like, are you sad that you're not in the Odyssey? And he's like, no, I'm just excited to see what they're making, right? Yeah. Like, I don't have the fear of missing out. I'm like excited to see it. Speaking of which, when you said thoughtfulness, I don't want to ruin this. Is Hoyt von Hoytman's cinematography, the head of cinematography? Did you feel like use of the camera? Like we've talked about this in other things, like Gotham is the city, right? Which is also a character. Metropolis is a city that's a character. Like go to DC. In a stage play, the room is a character, right? When we watched Troy, Luke pointed out all the practical things they made. Using the cinematography, did you have that feeling here too? Like, oh, they're in the desert. This is hot. Because I mentioned when we watched Troy that it's like, that's a beach. Man, that is a long beach, but it didn't feel like anything, like the cinematography, the atmosphere was part of anything. Like it didn't feel hot. It didn't feel like what they were doing. The cinematography didn't impose a sense of atmosphere. Did you have that with watching this one?
Buddy, it's probably the best part of the movie.
Okay.
Like it goes so unnoticed and subtle. And the moment you talked about it, I was like, oh God, that was so impressive how they did that.
Okay.
It was like, yeah. Because like the moment you step in, the first scene, and we'll talk about it in spoilers. The first scene it's a little. It was a little wonky to me.
Okay.
In the moment the action starts in that first scene, you're locked in, and everything is just correct.
We watched Troy, and Troy's original cut's like 2 hours 40 minutes. Director's cut's 3 hours and 15 minutes, mainly for extra naked time and that kind of stuff. How do you feel about the pacing for this, for a near 3-hour movie that's not a director's cut?
I'm sure it could be better, but I don't see where you could trim the fat or make it much different. Like,
okay,
if it could be better, it's only slightly. There's some points in the middle, maybe, where there's like a little bit of wonkiness. But even then, it's like, I don't know. I'm not so sophisticated in watching film that I would notice. Similar to if you listen to someone sing, right? And then there's a trained singer with a perfect ear sitting next to you, and they're like, ooh, but you can't hear the difference, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at here. Like,
so it's to me, the way that you described it, between the cinematography, the flow, the action, the depth of color, everything like that, it's like a well put together course meal. Like you don't want to rush any part of it. Like
right.
It's served on time when you needed it. The atmosphere is correct.
Yeah, it's like being served the perfect hamburger with all the toppings, right? And you also happen to be in your favorite restaurant. And you also happen to be served by a person who's excellent at their job. And you also happen to get a free drink on top of it. And you also happen to enjoy the lighting. And you also happen to be with good people. And it's kind of like that. There's like a little bits everywhere that just seem so well put together, like a jigsaw puzzle, that it's incredible. I don't know what to say, but I love watching you guys. You know what? Thank you. Yeah. I loved it. Honestly, when you asked me these questions, these are questions I didn't even think about in the movie because I was so locked in. And then a moment I was like, oh wow, he is so right about all of this. It's so seamless and thoughtful and interesting that you ask these questions. Yeah.
I mentioned in the original, I didn't want to see it. It's getting really good reviews from critiques as well as normal folk, us normies, us normal taters. Talking to you about it and knowing like what type of movies you like what we like to watch here on the couch. After watching Troy with you, I really feel like I don't actually have an option. Like I have to see it, right? Like it's a kind of like generational movie that it's kind of like we all got to see this. Like we got to see it so we can all talk about it.
Yeah.
The last question here in the craft and filmmaking section, Troy, as you mentioned, has quite a lot of action. There's several times there the reaction, Luke's like, and there's just 2 more hours of fighting. There's just an hour and a half of this sword fighting on the sand. There's just another hour of them murdering people. Does this feel like an action epic compared to a character drama, or is it something all new, all different? Or is it just where you are in the story? Like,
no, I mean it's a character drama. It's a character drama that has fighting in it.
Troy is a lot of hey, let's show beautiful / naked people and in between fight.
Yeah,
And then two people really trying to act and other people in other movies. Like
basically.
it's all right. So to continue our non-spoiler here, casting. Okay. Matt Damon is Odysseus. Okay. Sell us on that casting.
Yeah, I can't. I thought he did great, but I think there's a handful of other actors who would have done fine.
All right. Anne Hathaway as Penelope. I seen some stuff about her recently and like her skincare and how she still looks good. I have seen stuff where she looks aged, like from like the in-screen stuff. How does she do in this role? Because she's also a Nolan veteran, like she did in Batman, right?
So for context, in terms of skin, they definitely didn't put her in as much makeup as you see her in The Devil Wears Prada and other movies, right? So in those, she's objectively caked up and looks phenomenal. In this, there is weathering that needs to take place. They did just so happen to pick one of the most beautiful women on the planet, maybe. There's weathering that takes place. She's 18 years. There's 18 to 20 years in between one scene and the next. There is some weathering. And I think they do an excellent job of portraying it, and she still looks gorgeous.
Yeah. I agree.
Now there's like a couple of line deliveries from her that are awkward to me.
Okay. All right.
Other people might not catch that. They might not. To me, I was just like, oh, that's a weird line delivery. And I think all but Robert Pattinson and Matt Damon have that same quality. Ooh, I'm sorry. I've got a cast list right here. John Bernthal there's not one wrong line delivery. But but Matt Damon and Robert Pattinson and John Bernthal, all of their line deliveries are pretty good. Everyone else, there's one or two where you're just like, was that perfect?
That leads us on to one of the most controversial ones we've talked about in the past with Zendaya fatigue. Zendaya as Athena, thoughts on her as the god character that she's playing in this world?
Anyone else could have played it, and she does a phenomenal job.
Okay. So it's just, she did a great job, but it could be anybody.
Yeah. I mean, another actress who could have played it is the girl who could have played X-23 or whatever in the Old Man Logan movie. She could have played the same. She could have done the same thing, and it would have been, oh, this is great. You did phenomenal.
In the casting sheet originally, Travis Scott had a mystery role. As a non-spoiler tease, does it land?
Oh, I didn't even know that was Travis Scott, and it lands.
Okay, all right. The last one here, we're gonna breeze over a lot of these. Like Lucas mentioned, there are a lot of people in this, a lot of famous people, big stuff. Who are your surprise MVPs for performances in this? You said John Bernthal MVP. Bring up that cast list. Give me your top 5. Like who were standouts for you?
Okay, so Elliot Page gets a shout out. Elliot Page playing Sinan is real good. John Leguizamo, I don't think he's ever been better.
Oh, okay. Not even as Clown in the Spawn movie?
Oh, yeah, good pull.
No. I mean, he's also really good in John Wick.
There's a kid named Mason Kufari, or it might be Kufre, but I think it's Kufari, who plays young Sinan, who plays Elliot Page, younger version. Also talented. And Robert Pattinson is super great as he's the face of villainy in the movie.
All right.
And then Tom Holland is fine, Anne Hathaway's pretty good. Matt Damon is Matt Damon. He's pretty good. But yeah, those are my big ones there.
Oh, okay. Comparisons and positioning here. A little bit of looking outside the scope of just this movie. Where does this rank against other Nolan films that you have seen right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I've seen all the rest. There's 12, maybe.
There's a lot. I don't know.
It's in my top 4. And there's some recency bias there, so it's the internet. You get recency bias from me. I don't care. But it is in my top 4. There are moments that I will, that are like content that I will never forget in this movie. that
All right.
only a theater experience will do it.
Okay. So we mentioned the Troy review. We watched it from 2004. Many of those actors are still alive and acting. Would you have liked to have seen any of them come in as like a cameo? Like, is there a place?
No, I mean, Old Man BP showing up would have been cool, but Old Man BP is would have been cool, but no, no. I mean, honestly, no.
So in this is the greater scope of the film here is in Troy, the mythology is completely dropped.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Like the aspects of magic and God, like they really defame the fact that the gods are not real and that the mythological energies. The only thing you get is Achilles gets shot in the ankle at the end, right? Like
right.
that's how does the mythology treated in this film feel better or worse than it was in Troy?
It's better.
Okay.
The way they do Troy, we joked about practicality and how Hector is the most normal person in the movie and how Hector is hilariously normal to like it's so off-putting, it's funny to me. In this, the gods, the mythology, the messaging, it's all so close to being whimsical, but not whimsical. It's not fantasy.
It's not Lord of the Rings. Here's fairies and
or the Mighty Nine or anything like that. Yeah. It's not even like the Force. It's not whimsical. It's just it's like this is a thing. You can believe it or you don't, and there's opportunities to take advantage of it. And we'll get into more of it in the spoilers. But it's such a good addition to the story to have these mythical creatures and gods and beings as part of the story.
You guys, we love fantasy, romantic fantasy, sci-fi fantasy, all that kind of stuff. We have Luke's reviewing some books here on the channel. Make sure to check that out. We do love our fantasy, but I'm kind of interested to see that. I love supernatural stuff. I thought that was a bit of a letdown when we watched Troy, that there was none of that. It was just so practical. Everything practical. They built that. Is this a movie for Nolan fans, for mythology nerds, for cinephiles, or all or none?
It's all of them. It's all the above. I mean, the cinephiles will take back the thing I said before, where the cinematography and the score and the sound design, the setting, the shot selection, the acting, the performances, all of it runs in sequence together. It's like in football when they say we need offense, defense, and special teams to all be in sync on what we're trying to do here, right? They need to complement each other. This movie does this in as well as any movie I've ever seen that's at this scale. Better than any Avengers movie. Better than any of them.
Yeah.
Because that's the scale we're talking about if you look at the performers that are involved.
What about for like the mythology nerds, the people that love that fantasy aspect?
Yeah.
Will it be enough for them, or is it like...
Yep. Haunting scenes.
Okay.
But not necessarily scary. Honestly. They just like, oh boy, I will have this in my mind forever. Like, you know how like you'll never forget the first time you saw a T-Rex when you watched Jurassic Park when you
grew up in the theater. Yeah, I'll
8 or 9.
Forget it.
Yeah, this similar vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last group is Nolan fans, which I suppose they'll go regardless, right?
I'll tell you what. I think Nolan fans are going to downplay this a little, and then as they watch it, they're going to enjoy it more than they thought.
Okay, because a lot of his stuff is fantastical or has a lot of science in it, where this is completely different, right? So that'll be really big. For our non-spoiler final verdict here, Louis, see it in theaters, see it in enhanced IMAX, or wait at home.
If you have a chance to see it in IMAX, watch it in IMAX.
Okay.
Watch it in an enhanced view. Don't watch it in 4K. Quick tangent. Hank, who's on the channel sometimes, he and I went and saw, oh crap, what's it called? Michael B. Jordan movie, Sinners. We saw Sinners in 4K. Boy, what a mistake. That was a mistake because the water was spritzing him in the face and the chairs were moving.
Oh, the 4D, not 4D.
Yeah, 4D. Don't do that. I don't know that you need to see the Odyssey in 4D, but the visual, I mean, if you can do it, don't drive out of state, right? It's good. Yeah. Go see it now so it's not ruined for you, because like some of the stuff's so good.
All right, Louis, are there any final words that you have for the people that are on the non-spoiler side?
Yeah. Understand these are some of the most famous people in the world that you're watching. Don't let that faze you.
Okay.
That's it. Because it fazed me. That's one of the slight negatives because I was very aware of who the people were on screen. Doesn't help that I'm watching The Gilded Age, which is a show on HBO right now, where
Yeah.
all the actors are Broadway actors who are on screen. So you've never seen them before except for maybe occasionally on sitcoms. So
or like a BBC special or something.
Right. So once you see Matt Damon, you need to be like, right, okay, or Robert Pattinson, okay, yeah, all right. You know what I mean?
I think we covered most of the casting. We talked about some of the cinematography, the flow of the movie, and do you need to see it? I have some spoiler stuff here that I had put together online. So it's going to be stuff that I don't know because I haven't seen the movie. If you don't want to hear anything, you don't want to know anything, we appreciate you being here. We have a link down below to our Troy reaction, as well as the reactions for the trailers to this film and other stuff if you're interested in seeing it. This is your final red alert. Priority Ward 1 warning. We are going to go into spoilers from now. So, whoop, whoop, whoop. You've been warned. Here we go. Louis, Nolan completely refrains from the Trojan horse as a violation of Zeus's law. Did that come through? Because in Troy, it's like a big thing, right? Like that's...
Okay, so let's talk about this. Or we're just going to jump in. The Zeus's law thing is a message from the beginning to the end. And it is all about if someone comes to your door, you invite them in and you treat them. Because whether they are a king or a beggar, they could be Zeus in disguise. So you treat them with respect. That is Zeus's law. So in the story, this is the big spoiler. Sorry about it. In the story, Odysseus has regret. Any plans for Brand New Day? Possibly. I might go see that in IMAX. Well, we're going to see it together.
We might take a couch in a back of a truck bed to our local
and shoot our response like right there.
We've already talked about it.
So that's the message of the movie. The message of the movie is they were stuck on a beach for 9 or 10 years, and Odysseus comes up with this plan to use the Trojan horse that he knew was going to hurt his own people, and to get inside and destroy the city of Troy. Rather than being welcomed as friends, he created a weapon to destroy a city, which is the connection to Oppenheimer, which we could talk about later.
I mean, I know that's the Zeus's law was later. It's kind of turned into like the Jesus rule. Like you never know.
It's a golden rule.
So like I had friends that are from Turkey and they're Muslim, and their thing is if your friend ever asks to have tea, you have tea. Right. Like it's just like you always welcome someone with tea. It's kind of interesting because we have this story, and then it's like the Native Americans getting gifts from Europeans, but those gifts killed them, right? Like with disease and all that kind of stuff. So one of the big controversial picks of this film was Elliot Page, and Elliot Page was said to be playing someone else first, Achilles or someone, and people are having this big freak out about it. Now you have said that Elliot Page is playing Sinan, who confronts Odysseus in the underworld, which is a mythical part of the movie, which is not in Troy. How did that scene land for you?
Perfectly.
Okay, because you said one of the standouts for you was Elliot Page's performance here.
Elliot Page's performance is a standout.
Okay.
I can't think of somebody else that could have played that role.
Oh, okay. It was just so perfectly done.
It was ideal. It was ideal for the moment. It was ideal for the storytelling. It was ideal for the character and the acting. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, that's not a character in the Odyssey.
Yeah. So this is like been created for the film, right?
Right.
Okay. I think it kind of harpens back to like, I think the last time I saw Matt Damon in a movie where I didn't see Matt Damon was Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last time that I was like, oh, that's Matt Damon. I didn't feel like that. Normally I see him and stuff and I feel like, oh, that's Matt Damon. Like that was the last time for me that I didn't feel that way. I think it's nice that we have, like you said, oh, that's Anne Hathaway. Oh, that's it. You got to kind of remember. This is like the first big thing for Elliot Page since Umbrella Academy.
Right.
Maybe. Really good. All right. Question number 3. The Sea Peoples are Nolan's addition that are not in Homer. What do you think about that plot thread that is actually doing things thematically for the movie?
It's perfect. It's perfect. I think some people are going to think that it's like an intentional swerve.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what it is. Did it in your questions, did it give you any hints?
So I asked the generator when I wrote my base questions to add in some,
Yeah.
but keep it semi-vague for me because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so the sea people are them, right? They showed up on the beaches of Troy and destroyed the city. And so word got out that there's sea people coming on the islands and the different places that they visit, that Odysseus and his companions, his soldiers visit. Those are him. They're them.
They're like the Atlanteans just popping up and doing stuff. And
it's literally the fear. It's the opposite. It's the Trojan horse. It's the opposite of the Zeus's law. It like there's people coming. That's the
you have to be afraid of the sea people coming.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You must, because the sea people will come and try to. I mean, they'll rape and pillage your city.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't find that out to the end, by the way. So that's a massive spoiler. Hopefully, no one needed to hear that.
Again, we're in the spoiler warning. If you're watching right now, talking about that, you're talking about spoilers and the ending. Do you feel like the ending of the movie compared to the original and what was supposed to happen? Do you feel how Nolan changed the story and portrayed it is better or worse?
I think for his story, for his version of the story, it's better. Like, I don't see the Odyssey being done any other way now.
All right.
Than having this like full circle, similar to Rick and Morty style circle storytelling. Because if you watch an episode of Rick and Morty, it's got this very thematic circle storytelling.
Yeah.
Most of them do. This has that same thing. It has that same kind of feel. When you come back to the end, it's the same but different. You know, like pi or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's never a perfect circle. Yeah. It's always just a little bit bigger when you keep going.
We have a big image. I think probably there's a whole meme of like, what do men really want? And then it just shows the man looking out the window and then another man looking out the window, and it's the walking through the field of wheat at the end of Gladiator.
Yeah.
And then you look on the hill and it's like, oh, it's the woman that you love and your child. That's a sad ending because that didn't happen, right? Like, that's just his hope for eternity, knowing that the story has ended with the choices that Penelope made. Telemachus, is that how it's said?
Yeah, that's Tom Holland's character. Yeah.
Okay. Does that ending feel like it works, or is it out of character for Penelope herself?
Okay, so there's a few moments with Anne Hathaway and Penelope that feel slightly out of character, but it could be because I've been watching The Gilded Age and or Game of Thrones and or these other things that might have strong female characters acting different. She's there for 10 years after the Trojan War, hearing people come back from the war and stories of what happened and all this crap. And then suitors start showing up and trying to take her throne, marry her, right? Bed her, give her another child who would become king over Odysseus's.
Yeah, she's just the regent there waiting, right?
Like, yeah, they're in waiting. And Odysseus isn't the age. Sorry, Telemachus is not the age to become king. He's still maybe too young and they would just murder him, right?
Yeah.
There's this fear of the sea people the entire time. Okay. So the story is that she was so in love with Odysseus is that she would wait until the sun never rose for Odysseus to come home. And since they never got word that Odysseus died, then Odysseus would be. She just kept on waiting. In the story, she's working on this shawl, this long piece of fabric where she's weaving it, and as she's going, the elders in the town or in Ithaca tell her that once you're finished with that, you must choose a suitor, and because they're afraid of warring tribes or the sea people, what she does is she undoes a couple of rungs of every single night in order to keep from finishing it. Anyway, the reason I bring all this up is her steadfast love and appreciation and loyalty to Odysseus doesn't come across all the time.
Okay.
In every line delivery, it comes across most of the time in most of the line deliveries, but it's not this hardened Cersei Lannister, I am in love and this is what my love feels. Kind of thing, which is what we expect. So it could be my expectations that's throwing it off, but I'll swallow that pill. That's the weird part about her kind of role.
The Calypso Lotus Blossom, the enabler dynamic, instead of captor, which I have no idea what this means. What do you make of that change?
It's such a good change. It speaks to addiction and running away from your problems. And actually, I think it's phenomenal. Okay. It really is. I don't think it's much better, but I think it speaks to people in a way that fits the story much better for Nolan's version. Okay. So essentially, he's on an island with this goddess named Calypso, who's drugged him essentially for years and years and years and kept his brain in a fog until she finally sets him free. And it has been in the movie, it's been 7 years later. But it's awesome. Like, it's actually a cool thing. It's a cool plot device. Essentially, there's a lot of time jumping that happens, and we'll get into that in a few minutes, I think. But yeah.
Helen's reveal, scared rather than legendary beauty, sacred almost. What do you feel about her choice?
That was phenomenal. You begin to suspend disbelief when you realize there's gods and monsters. There's like massive killings happening. Okay. Like, they're doing things that are unbelievably heinous happening. Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay, yeah. So she's already an Academy Award winner. She's in Black Panther. Very talented, obviously.
I'm a big fan of if they're right for the role. Like, just about anyone can play any role as an actor, as a stage performer. Me as a trained actor, anyone can play any role. Now, there are a few exceptions. I don't know that I would be cast as Helen of Troy. I have some female friends that I wouldn't cast as Helen of Troy. But at the same time, we got 2 questions. At the same time, Lupita Nyong'o does a phenomenal job, and there's a scene in there where they have cut her face intentionally to mark her from no longer being Helen of Troy. And it's like the most beautiful person to start a war kind of thing. Yeah. Like, no one's gonna steal you again. I'm gonna mark your face.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And it's John Bernthal's character who does it. Okay. So we've got, can you play MLK? I cannot play MLK. I am not a good enough speaker. And also,
it has to be RDJ.
RDJ might have to be the one. Was the Odyssey a masterpiece? I think the Odyssey is a very rich story that Christopher Nolan made his own and lived up to the story. So is it a masterpiece? If you think the Odyssey written on paper is a masterpiece, then yes, the movie is a masterpiece because he took it, made it his own, and enhanced it. So it's all up to whether or not you think the myth is yes, it is a masterpiece. Thank you. Okay, someone said it's a masterpiece. I happen to agree. Someone might not agree. I happen to agree. And then said there's so much mess on Twitter for using words like "daddy" and "let's go" in the movie. What do you guys think about it? Christopher Nolan wrote the script, and so there's also like moments of humor that are really, really funny. They're like clever moments that people in the audience with me were laughing about.
Yeah,
but they're like typical Christopher Nolan one-liners that you hear in The Dark Knight or Inception. So it's pretty perfect. Hi, I just trolled you. It sucked. I saw it. Well, if you didn't like it, that's okay too. I had a great time.
Well, I think that like the language aspect, when we watch Troy, if you go back in our review, I think a couple times I mentioned I would have liked to see someone AI it to be all Shakespearean English, because I think it would have played different.
Yeah.
Do you think because like I said, the daddy thing, the vernacular, what's being used, do you think that played a part in this film because of how Nolan?
You got to remember, bros have been bros for the history of time. And the communication is, hey, these are bros saying bro things. And so if that communicates across fine, it's fine. They've added characters. They changed the mythology. Who cares what they say as long as it translates?
Well, the way that I take that is like, you don't like the movie. That's your taste. Like, I don't like Lord of the Rings. I think they're not good. It's a thing. Some people, when I was talking in a Discord chat the other day playing League of Legends and talking about how I didn't like Lord of the Rings films and I think the Beatles are overrated, it caused like a 45-minute explosion in the Discord chat.
I the last comment I happen to agree with. Like, that's why I'm not giving it a perfect score. I don't know if I would give this a perfect score.
What are we talking about?
It said the Cilia, which is one of the trials, one of the monsters that Odysseus avoids.
Okay.
Mostly could have shot so much, could have been shot so much better. That scene could have, that scene could have been epic. Maybe use Inception music during. Listen, I agree. I want to talk about another part of the movie that to me hit pretty hard. I saw an IMAX 2 days ago. It's truly great. One of Christopher Nolan's best. The haters will be very disappointed, but of course they won't admit it if they prefer to hang on their hate. Listen,
Yeah.
it is a Christopher Nolan movie. Like it's got his stamp on it. You can tell it is not a Spielberg movie. It wasn't made by George Lucas or Vinny Villeneuve. It is a Chris Nolan movie. Okay, can we talk about my spoilers, or you got another question?
Okay, I got 3 more questions, and then I'm going to be done. And mine might actually tie into yours. How does the ending compare thematically to other Nolan films that you've seen?
I mean, I think it puts if not perfect, a great button on it. It does. It's an epic too, so it does have that weird kind of 4-act structure. Like it kind of gets to the end, and then there's like another part, and that's in like the Odyssey. That's in the movie that came out in the 90s.
So
there's like
it
a weird
specifically says right here to add in a comment, but you haven't seen it yet, is like one of the main themes of Oppenheimer, which we know about from history, is guilt over what's been unleashed, right? Over what's been created. You're saying here, oh, we have Zeus's law, and now we have the sea people, right? Like that feeling of guilt of like changing the world.
We lost
right?
William. I'll jump into this real quick before we get in there. The Cyclops scene is awesome. And please tell me in the comments what you think about the Cyclops scene, but I think the Cyclops scene is unbelievable. The sound the Cyclops makes is so frightening. Obviously, it reminded me of Attack on Titan. If you've never seen it, check out some of the scenes from Attack on Titan. It's just as frightening. When the witch turns the soldiers into pigs. Woo! I think we have William back here. I'm going to bring him back in.
Last 2 questions here. Was there a single scene that hit you the hardest?
Yeah, the Cyclops scene.
Okay.
The Cyclops scene is exactly as terrifying as Christopher Nolan intends it to be. It reminds me of Attack on Titan.
All right.
You know that at the end of Attack on Titan, the first episode, have you ever seen it?
I've never watched Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
I thought it's overrated, so I don't like the art style.
Absolutely overrated. Let's not get weird about it. That's a hot take by both of us for a lot of people on the internet. It's not that great. It's fine. There's a scene at the end of the first episode where one of the Titans picks up the Eren Yeager's mother and like bites her in half.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's scenes in the Cyclops scene is pretty dark. And the sound the Cyclops makes when it screams is so jarring that it's like I'll never not think about it.
All right.
Also, the pig scene where the witch on the hill turns the soldiers into pigs is so frightening. I'll tell you one to the opposite. I thought the river Styx scene was going to be way different, and it was okay, but it reminded me of a lot like a necromancer, necromancy happening rather than a demon world. Hades, hell, whatever you want to call it. It just, I was expecting something a little bit different. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, this is how they're choosing to do this. Cool. Whatever. Not for me, maybe, but whatever. I would have done something different.
All right, so this is my last spoiler question, guys. Again, thank you for hanging in with us. Louis, seeing the film, all the publicity, all of everything that built up to it, seeing it in IMAX 70 millimeter, you know that I have a cool down window. Like I don't rewatch stuff. I usually memorize things, so I don't rewatch. Like there's a very long cool down window for most films. Does this film hold up to a rewatch, or is it a one and done?
I'm gonna rewatch it in the theaters. Maybe twice. Maybe see it again this week, and then maybe see it again next week when we're in North Carolina.
Do you think this is like something that like dad should go see, but like in IMAX, or is it like just a standard theater? He'll be fine.
For him, definitely. Someone said their hottest take was Elliot Page was good in it. It's not a hot take. Excellent.
They did great.
Like when I saw Elliot Page, I was like, oh, Elliot Page, cool. Because I thought Elliot Page was Achilles. We had talked about it.
That was all over the internet, yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, Elliot Page better not be Achilles, because Achilles is the most legendary warrior that's ever existed. And then, no, Achilles, he's whatever, perfect. Now, can we talk? Are you having more questions, or can we actually talk about?
Guys, that's the end of my non-spoiler spoiler questions. Louis got a couple points.
it is a sequel to Oppenheimer for Christopher Nolan. Not for us and not in terms of storytelling, but it is a sequel. And here's my point. In Oppenheimer, I'm assuming, because I haven't seen it, they blow up the atom bomb over top of Nagasaki or Hiroshima, right? And it makes this big sound or whatever. The scientist, along with the U.S. government, has created this weapon that is a war ender. Odysseus creates a weapon that ends a war and has to live with it for 10 years. So the story behind it is Odysseus doesn't want to go home because he's ashamed of not being kingly. He's ashamed of essentially taking a shortcut and doing this thing. So it is kind of a sequel to Oppenheimer in like the Nolan weird brain fog. The other thing that is horrifying is we talked in our Troy thing about how hot it would be inside of the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
John Bernthal tells the story of Troy because he claims to have also been inside the horse. And he's like, we were in there for days on the beach and people drowned below us because it sunk into the sand. And it took them days to drag the horse into Troy.
Yeah. I said from a science perspective, like you wrap yourself in a blanket too tight and you want to die. Like, you're talking about putting a complement of soldiers, true soldiers, into a wooden structure with limited breathing in the sun on a beach in Turkey.
Yeah. So imagine
wearing leather.
Imagine the Punisher. Imagine the Punisher being like, you got to tell me that I was in a horse with Odysseus standing in piss and shit for days. I mean, he was doing the whole. Was that good? Was that okay?
Not bad.
All right. He tells his story and it's awesome. And Helen of Troy is sitting right next to him, right? This trophy, right? That they're all fighting over. And he's essentially the leader of the Spartans.
Yeah.
And because in Troy, and the Spartan king gets killed. But I don't know that happens in this movie. But he's sitting there telling the story. And she's like,
Agamemnon.
She's
his name.
No.
The king of Troy. Oh, their father.
Okay. This is another thing. Agamemnon's in the movie. Oh, it's the one in the black armor, the one you see in all the promotional.
Yeah, it's not big fat Brian Cox.
No.
Like not overweight king.
It's 6'4" jacked Greek dude.
Okay.
He is aura farming the entire time, and I love it. Okay. And the way he gets killed is awesome too. So essentially, the story for him was, rather than being like the King of Kings and taking over all of whatever and having power over the Aegean Sea, he's looking to do that, but he sacrifices one of his own children in order to win a battle. And so when he comes back from Troy, his wife kills him. In the end of the Odyssey, William, Odysseus is gone for 10 years. In the River Styx, he runs into the king, and the king's like, don't go home a champion, go home a beggar, because I went home a champion and they killed me for it. And so he goes back as a beggar. And the fourth act of the story, because it is a 4-act thing, it's not one of these traditions. He goes in and he talks to some of the servants and some of the other people, and they all kind of catch a glimpse of who he is. They all kind of figure it out. And if his son, who's played by Spider-Man, kills these suitors, he's going to get exiled, right? And so the son can't kill the suitors, right?
Okay.
And so Odysseus comes back and strings the bow, pulls it taut, uses it, and then begins to start killing suitors. And there's this really cool like revenge fight scene talking about the perfect burger with the perfect toppings or the perfect whatever.
Yeah.
Right. The choreography for that fight is of a soldier who's kind of old, who just so happens to be a badass. It is not Batman. It is not Daredevil. The way he shoots a bow is very soldier-like rather than like Legolas or like the Green Arrow. It's very thoughtful how the choreography is done. It is kind of like The Dark Knight Rises, where they cut between quickly.
Okay.
Where it's a little confusing and you're like, okay, this could have been shot a little bit better. Or it could have done something a little bit better, but this is the way Christopher Nolan does things. But even the fight style is very grounded in who these people are. People clapped in my theater when he started killing the suitors. It was kind of embarrassing because I didn't feel the same way they did. But But as someone who's been on stage and does some stuff, I was like, okay, it's a little corny.
Yeah.
But they started clapping. I will tell you, I had recently had knee surgery, and like 12, 13 weeks ago. And I was sitting in a theater where I could not stretch my leg out, and my knee started throbbing 15 minutes in. So I was sitting there kind of freaking out because I could not leave. And it's 2.5 hours. And if I had to pee, I might fall down. Right, because my knee was hurting. I was like worried I might fall down. And so, like, about halfway through the movie is when a little bit less than half, maybe, they go to the witch's house. And I was like, if I have to pee right now, I'm gonna fall like into people. I can't. And then I started actually having a panic attack, and then I went away by the time the pigs oinked. But I'll tell you who else was a standout performance was the Odysseus is number one person on the ship. There's a lot of time spent on the ship too. Also, the story is told out of order. So it begins with the Trojans finding the Trojan horse. But then it jumps around to Odysseus telling Calypso the story of what he did and what happened.
Okay.
But it is cool that it is like it's a ritualistic sequel to Oppenheimer, where Oppenheimer created this weapon, right, that destroyed and killed many, many people, and then Odysseus did the same thing. Okay, and the last spoiler I'll give you: Zendaya plays Athena.
Yeah.
The reason why I said anyone could play Athena is because she is like his guide. In the Odyssey, she's the guide. She's like helping him get past all these trials through having to live knowing that he created the Trojan horse and Poseidon and whatnot. The reason he sees Zendaya is because when, and you come to find out this is the end, when Troy's burning, the soldiers cut the head of Athena off a statue and then cut the head of a little girl off. Okay. And he's freaking out, like he's having a thing.
Yeah.
And it's Zendaya. So is Zendaya Athena, or is Zendaya the manifestation of Athena walking with him through these trials? Because
the guilt, the imagery of it. Yeah. Who knows?
So but there is mythical stuff. So it could be, who knows?
Is Charlize Theron in the movie?
She plays Calypso. Yeah, she's in it
all. Oh, she's Calypso. Okay. It doesn't list it online.
Do you know who could have played John Bernthal's character, by the way? Tom Hardy could have played John Bernthal's character and been the king of Sparta and been just an absolute juggernaut.
Okay.
But yeah, the three big haunting scenes were when John Bernthal is describing their time in the horse. The witch scene where she's using her hands and they're stuffing their face with food and they're being transformed. It was gross. And then the Cyclops scene is phenomenal.
If you're watching this on the replay and you've watched it this long, we'd appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. Hit that ring bell so that you can know when we are being on with new content and video. I will be in the United States for the next couple of weeks, so look for more content there. Live reactions, snacks, some actual kitchen on the couch content. We got Spider-Man coming out and a bunch of different stuff, so probably a lot of more trailers.
A lot of more.
React to a lot of more. It is 33 degrees Celsius in my room right now, 90 degrees with my computer on.
Don't forget to check out Troy, our reaction to Troy. It's going to be down below in the description.
Yeah. If you want to join us, make sure to do all the YouTube stuff. And until next time, remember, where you go, the couch goes. Why?
We are the couch.
Later, taters.
Achilles!